morning. It's Nicole Hill with Nick's Village, www.nicksvillage.com. I am doing a Gemini reading. It's a Gemini reading today. If you want a full reading, you can get with me at www.nicksvillage.com and schedule a reading. If you want any of my services, that's a great place to start. If you just want to get to know who I am, it's www.nicksvillage.com. I've been reading cards for over 20 years. I read intuitively, so I give the information that the universe wants me to get from the cards. This is my Gemini reading for today. Let's see what we have for Gemini. If you feel like helping me, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can like, you can comment, you can share the video. Keep your comments pretty nice, pretty kind. You can critique, you can say what you do and do not like. But if you could just be kind, that would be perfect. Because I don't really get down with negativity, and I'm not going to have it on my page at all. So thank you for that. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, sometimes Snapchat. Very, very rarely do I go on Snapchat. The nature of it, I just really don't like. TikTok's difficult for me, but I'm changing over from my very political page, Black Lives Matter and all that, to spiritual, but I'm leaving all my videos up. So, you know, it is what it is. I contemplated taking the videos down. I was like, well, they don't really go with my... But I was a spiritual warrior when I was out there in the streets. I was still very big in my spiritual practice. I wasn't removed from my spiritual practice when I was protesting and stuff. So it's all part of it for me. So I kept it up. Warrior goddess, you know. So we have the Nine of Hearts Gemini. We have the Child of Swords. This is a Gemini reading. We have the Earth Child, card number 21. And we have Shaman of Reflections. These are actual cave drawings. The Shaman cards are actual cave drawings that were enhanced for these cards. I read from the book for the Oracle cards. I won't read the whole thing, but I do read the parts that I feel like need to be said today. So let's get with this Gemini reading. Hearts, Swords, and 21. Card 21 is the end of a cycle. You've completed a cycle. You're looking at it from a perspective of completion. And we're going to start with the Nine of Hearts, though. It's the Nine of Hearts. I would say, Gemini, that you found a place, a source of abundance, of flow, a source of replenishment, a place where things seem to be working in the way you wish for them to work, Gemini. So this is emotional. This has to do with emotions. So you've found a place where you are able to be replenished as you also no, it's a place you're filling your empty cup from. So I think things have been a little difficult for you, Gemini, and right now you're being poured into. You're being poured into on a major level. It's I want to say it's bringing you back. So somewhere, Gemini, in your life, you found something that is giving you exactly what you need emotionally. You found something that is fulfilling something in you emotionally that has been hurting, has been lacking. Uh, it hasn't filled you yet, but it is filling you. So you still may be feeling like, I don't feel any different. But in the long run, you're going to realize that this time in this space has been nurturing you. So you're being nurtured by something emotional. So something within your field you've run into is nurturing you and filling you up. You're not aware that you're being filled up yet. And I say this because if you look at her face, she's still pretty sad, despondent, sad. And so she's not aware of the beautiful gift that's being poured into her. She's not aware of any of this. She's not paying attention. She's trying to fill her cup, but she's looking at it like, this is what I always do, and then it ends up empty, and But this is a source. You've found something. This can be something physical. This can be a person. This can be a place. This can be meditation. This can be yoga. It can be anything, Gemini. But you found something that is going to pour into you, that's going to help you replenish. You're not aware of it yet. So pay attention to what's around you, to what you've recently allowed yourself to swim into, to what part of the ocean you've allowed yourself to enter, because you've allowed yourself to enter a place of replenishment. And it's time for you to get that replenishment, Gemini. I feel like you've been lacking it. Like a lot of us, we've been feeling, down and out and all that stuff. And that's what's going on. But you, Gemini, have found a place where you can replenish, and I want you to find a way to acknowledge that. So look around and see that what's giving you joy, what's making you feel good, and acknowledge that that's a place that you can go for replenishment and actually fill up. Actually feel the joy of, like, I'm being replenished. And we get to Child of Swords. And so the struggle that Gemini is having is Gemini can't recognize that place. And I would say, Gemini, you're probably not recognizing because you're lying to yourself about what you really want. The Child of Swords is Pinocchio, and we all know the story of Pinocchio. And I feel like Pinocchio, a big part of Pinocchio and who he was, is that Pinocchio didn't really deal with the fact that he wanted to be a real life boy. I mean, he said it, and but he didn't really sit with the fact of it. And then, honestly, that's not even really an option for Pinocchio, because he's a wooden boy. And there's magic and that kind of stuff, but he never sat in that want and in that knowing that that wasn't his nature. That wasn't his nature. So it's like, Gemini, you're convincing yourself of something that's outside of your nature. You are not being honest with yourself about what you really want. Gemini, so you're not being honest with yourself about what you really want. So when you're being filled and poured into, you're not even acknowledging it, because where you're being filled and what's being poured into you, you're saying you don't really want. So you're not allowing yourself to truly feel that getting filled up part of you, because I don't think you're being deceptive. I think that you have convinced yourself so completely that you're something that you're not. So life circumstances have put you, Gemini, in a place where you are behaving as if the trauma that you encountered is you. So like when we create trauma, we have trauma response, and we behave in certain ways outside because of the trauma. We embrace those ways as like that's the way we live. It's almost like the survivor instinct. It's like I've been surviving all my life, so that's just the way I live. When really it's like that was a response to stimuli. And when you remove the stimuli, how do you really live? Who are you really? So if I remove the trauma, Gemini, who are you really? You're a person who is enjoying being poured into, but can't acknowledge it because you're too busy being unsure about who you are, being dishonest with yourself about who you are. And I don't think it's a purposeful dishonest. I don't think you're like just like, how do I say it? I don't think you're just like being dishonest, like being a liar. I think that you are relating to yourself from a time when you were different, and that you have not allowed that you have changed. You've changed, Gemini. You're not in that same place. And so this that's being poured into you actually does feel good. And you have to allow yourself to feel that. You have to get rid of the confines of your mind of what you think you want and where you think you're trying to go. And you have to be where you're at and where it's currently working for you. And then we get to the Earth Child, which is card 21, Fool's Journey, 0 to 21. That's the completion card. You have learned a lesson. The universe has been trying to give you a lesson, Gemini, and you have kind of been resisting it, and you've been like, yeah, I'm not listening. You know, the universe isn't talking to me. I'm not really into that. And you finally got it. You heard it. It came through loud and clear. You understand it. You're being celebrated in this moment for that. Like, you did it. You did it. But you're with the with that, when you do that, when you understand, when you get it, when you complete something, it's always with the awareness that something new is going to come. So you understand this particular thing, this particular concept that the universe has been giving you, but that's not the end. Something new is going to come. So it's almost like you've gained the earth, but you've also gone back to being a child, because you're going to recirculate, learning all over again, starting from a brand new perspective. So be on the lookout, Gemini, for what the universe is going to try to show you next. Be ready for the next journey the universe is going to take you on. Pay attention. As you're paying attention, be okay with being nourished. Your idea of nourishment is not my idea of nourishment, nor should it be. Your idea of nourishment is not your mother's, your father's, your brothers, your sisters, your best friends. It's not any of their idea of nourishment. It's your idea of nourishment. So if you're in a space that is nurturing you, be grateful. Be happy that you're in that space and you're being nurtured and you're being poured into. It might not look the way you thought it would look. Like, you know, I like men that are 6'4" and black. Like, the lid on this thing black. Like, I'm into that. That's what I like. And so I'm out here, was broke up with and all that kind of stuff. So I'm out here kind of like, well, I'll get another man, It's been 11 months, something like that. Like, and I'm like, I'll get a man, 10 months. I'll get a man, when he comes, he's going to be this. I have this idea. So he's going to be 6'4". He's going to be dark skinned. He's going to have an RV. He's going to drive me around the world. If this man shows up, and he's 5'4", and he's light skinned, and he doesn't have an RV, but he loves me and he wants to be involved with me and he wants to, like, I may look at it and be like, that's not for me, when it very well may be for me. And he might be pouring into me, and I might be saying, well, I'm still looking for this man who's supposed to pour into me. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the very presence of the man who's pouring into me, but I can't see it because I have this idea of what the man who's going to pour into me looks like. Well, give that up, Gemini. It doesn't look like you imagine it looks. It looks the way it looks. So what's being poured into you and who's pouring into you is exactly where you're supposed to be at this moment. You just need to acknowledge it. You have to stop lying to yourself and telling yourself that you want something else or you're trying to be somewhere else, because you're just not. And we have the Shaman of Reflections. Shaman of Reflections, being aware of other paths, acknowledging the truth, learning to accept reality. Learning to accept reality, Gemini. You need to accept the reality that you're living in. I offer you who calls upon me the opportunity to see beyond your mirror image and to recognize within yourself the truths that you may never have perceived. I challenge those who believe that there is only one pathway to follow. In the mystery of the mirror, I show each individual his or her true self. So, go to the mirror, stop lying to yourself, and let yourself be shown who you truly are. And as you're being shown who you truly are, put a smile on your face, Gemini, and accept that you're being replenished and you're being poured into. It's nobody's decision but yours how that looks. So I want to thank you guys for sitting with me for this reading. Again, if you want a more intense, more individual reading, you can get to me at www.nixvillage.com. So thank you guys very much for being here. If you'd like to donate to Nix Village, to me, there is a donate button in the description. And that would be really helpful. It would help me to make more time to be able to do readings and those kinds of things. So thank you guys very much. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon.